This is Optimal Finance Daily, Episode 38, Debt Free, Part 1, by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalists.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Finance Daily, the podcast that brings you the best content in personal finance 5 days a week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Dan Warren.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Optimal Finance Daily. I am Dan, the guy who each and every day delivers you some of the best personal finance blog posts on the planet. And the best part is, you don't have to read them yourself. We find them, and I read them to you right here on the podcast. Today's post comes from Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalists.com. And this is, of course, our special week focusing on minimalism, and who better to feature than the minimalists themselves. Now, this post is a little bit long, so we're going to break it up into two parts. The first part today, and then the rest coming up tomorrow. But before we jump into the content, if you want to have a chance to get the Minimalist book, Minimalism, Live a Meaningful Life, for free, simply sign up for our free weekly newsletter. We raffle off the book every single month to a lucky email subscriber. And to join the ranks of subscribers, all you have to do is text the word financial to the number 44222. That's text the word financial to 44222. You can also go over to our website, oldpodcast.com, and subscribe there. But for now, let's hear the first part of Joshua's story as we start to optimize your life. Debt Free, Part 1, by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalists.com. I'm standing in line at my favorite cafe, surrounded by smells and sounds. An up-tempo milieu of acoustic guitar and tambourine is occupying the atmosphere around me, an Andy Davis tune, and I'm singing along. It's a good life, like a tone-deaf idiot, missing every other note, mumbling the words I don't know while looking out the large window to my left, staring into the blankness of the morning. It's the first week of spring, but Missoula has yet to receive the memo. Everything outside is blanketed white, so clean and absolute. I smell coffee. The smell alone is a near religious experience. The cafe's manager, Jared, is perched behind a large, shiny espresso machine, manning the military-grade controls, pulling and twisting levers and knobs at precise intervals as the mammoth appliance emits the grinding and wisping sounds associated with good coffee. I imagine Jared has more than one engineering degree. The whole scene is impressive, and the way a kid breakdancing on the street is impressive. It's completely foreign to me, but I'm mesmerized. How could you not be? People's faces change, visibly brighten when they enter the cafe's main room, kicking snow from their boots and brushing melted flakes from their parkas. Their postures autocorrect under the high ceilings. The average height of each patron seems to increase at least half an inch as they stand in line, bathed in natural light and coffee aroma. Jared makes the best Americanos in Montana, the best. Behind the machine, he's wearing a three-piece suit and a contemplative look that says he's serious about his coffee, but somehow simultaneously not so serious that he doesn't know how to have fun. If I tried to affect the same expression, the customers behind me would surely call 911 thinking I was having a mild stroke. But Jared pulls it off with cool confidence, a professional among professionals, joyed by his labors. It's my turn to order. Americano, black. The dark-haired girl at the register is wearing a smile I'd like to frame. She's intimidatingly attractive, and so I fumble for something clever to say when she asks me how I'm doing. But I've got nothing. No words. My mouth a swordless sheath. I pull out my wallet to pay, peeling a few singles from my thin stack. I don't even consider using my credit card, not anymore at least. The snow keeps calm, everything outside the windows, huge flakes like wet chips of white paint peeling off the sky. Cash, not a debit card, but cold hard cash, is the only currency I use these days. It's harder to part with, makes me celebrate over each purchase. Every dollar I let go of is like letting go of $1 of my freedom. I place a dollar in the jar labeled "Tipping is Sexy" and smile at the brunette. But I haven't always been this way. Well, I've always smiled at brunettes, but I haven't always been responsible with money. I'll be 32 in a few months, and for the first time in my adult life, I'm free of debt. That's a weird thing for me to be able to say. You see, from the time I was 18, when Chase Bank granted me my first line of credit, a MasterCard with a $5,000 limit which would have made any poor kid from Ohio salivate, until last month, nearly 14 years later, I've had some sort of debt. As my 20s mounted, So did my tab with the creditors. First, it was just that one credit card, and then, when that one was maxed out, it was 2, and then 3. Visa, MasterCard, even Discover. American Express wasn't irresponsible enough to grant me a line of credit, not for several years at least. But that's okay, I was successful, so I could afford it, right? Fresh out of high school, I skipped the whole college route and had instead found a sales job that quote-unquote let me work 6, sometimes 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day. I wasn't great at it, but I learned how to get better. By age 19, I was making $50,000 a year, but I was spending $65K. Unfortunately, I was never great at math. Perhaps I should have financed a calculator before maxing out half a dozen cards. I celebrated my first big promotion at age 22 the same way I imagined anyone would. I built a house in the suburbs, financed with 0% down. Everything in my culture reaffirmed this decision, even told me I was making a solid investment. This was 5 years before the housing crash. It wasn't just any old house, though. It was an oversized, 2-story monstrosity complete with 3 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, and a full-size basement. The ping-pong table I never used came later, also financed. There was even a white picket fence. I shit you not. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled Debt Free by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalists.com, and you will have to wait until tomorrow to hear part 2 of Joshua's story, which is a fascinating one. Or, if you want to cheat and hear a lot more of his posts, you can subscribe to the Optimal Living Daily podcast, where Justin has read somewhere around 25 essays from the Minimalists. And once again, don't miss your chance to win a book, a free book, by these very minimalists. All you have to do is join the Optimal Finance Daily weekly newsletter. It's very easy to join. It's free to join as well. Simply text the word financial to 44222 or visit oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com and enter there on the site. Not only will you have a chance to win that minimalist book, but you also get a few spreadsheets that Justin has put together just for you that help you with your finances. So do all that today. We very much appreciate it. And that's it for episode 38 of Optimal Finance Daily. We will continue this minimalist week and Joshua Fields Millburn story tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from amazing bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.